My name is I'm from Sudan. I started working with WFP in 1993 April. I worked in Sudan from 1993 to 1997. Then I was asked to go to Iraq for the Oil for Food operation program. From there I went to Afghanistan. It's another tough duty station. That was 2001. And then late 2002 I came to Yemen. I stayed 4 years in Yemen. And then I moved to Bangladesh, where I am now for the past 2 years. In 1995, John Garang and his SPLA movement were still fighting the government of Sudan. The rebels think that we are spies for the government, and the government also think that we are spies for the rebels. And we have to do our job in this kind of environment. In 1995, went to the south. We were 5 people, 2 from WFP, myself and Beliapa, and 1 from FAO and 2 from the government officials. They took off from Pariang, and we found on the board of the plane 3 armed people, 1 sitting beside the pilot as a co-pilot with his machine gun, and 2 were sitting on the back of the plane. I said, what? Is this a hijack or what? They said, no, you don't have to talk, you just keep your mouth shut. So I said, okay. So we landed in Shukudum, the capital of the rebels at that time. And then in 5 minutes, we were surrounded by almost 200 gunmen from the rebels. And they marched us in the jungle for around 15 to 20 kilometers on foot. We were kept in a small cell. There is nothing in that cell. No bed, no blanket, no pillow, nothing. Where all the termites, all kind of insects just going around you. And there was no food at day 1. Day 2, we had to eat sorghum. It wasn't even crushed or milled. The most difficult about the hostage was the interrogation. They suspected that I am the leader of the group, and they accused me as one of the intelligence department of Sudan. And they start interrogating, and that interrogation itself is becoming like a torture. Every day they take you for 6 hours interrogation. The same people asking you the same question. And then after 3 days or 4 days, you get new people asking the same questions, speaking you in different language, English, Arabic, in their tribal language. Sometimes you don't know what they are saying, and we keep repeating the same. And one day I said, hey, look, I'm fed up. What do you want to do? Do whatever you want to do, just do it now. Not enough torturing us. We were held hostage in 1995 for 47 days. That experience turned my life 180 degrees. I became more positive towards myself, towards my family, towards my friends, towards my work. It's because of WFP, it's becoming my blood. I consider myself as a son of WFP because that hostage is my second born.
My name is Lindy Hogan. I work as a program officer for the World Food Programme. I'm based in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. The program that I work on involves 2 refugee camps which are on the Bangladesh-Burma border. We've got about over 27,000 refugees here living in 2 camps. I'm from a small town in North Queensland in Australia, so I guess if I look at the people in my class and what they're doing now, I'd say, what I'm doing is something pretty different to everybody else. I can't make big changes in people's lives. I can't change the fact that they're a refugee living here in this camp. So I kind of just remind myself that the changes I make are smaller, making sure somebody's receiving the full entitlement of their ration, or just talking to people in the street. I think it makes a difference.
Cuando yo fui a Puerto Rico estaba lleno de leones. I'm Alejandro Ticheri. I'm the Regional Public Information Officer for Latin America and the Caribbean for the World Food Programme. During the last 3 years, we've been in many emergencies. The earthquake in Peru, Haiti, the Hurricane Stan, Hurricane Dean. I can't even not remember all the names of the hurricanes we've been covering. You cannot do these things from an office. You have to be in the center of the action in order to show what WP is doing. This happened on the year 2005 in Guatemala during the October hurricane season, during Hurricane Stan. The hurricane affected 1.5 million people. We were assisting at that very moment over 300,000 people in need of food assistance. The communities were flooded, many of the communities lost their crops, and the people was in very bad shape. We were trying to reach many isolated communities in the northern border of the country, and we were using American helicopters. We were doing distributions to all these communities, and we reached one. It was called San Juan Chacojun. It's very up in the northern border of Guatemala. This community was in a small valley, and the helicopter landed in a very little spot. We were able to distribute the food, and then when we took off, the pilot could not return in the same way that he was coming because the valley was very narrow. So he went straight ahead through the valley. At this very moment, when we were like at 600 or 700 meters high, the helicopter hit a cable. The helicopter started spinning badly. Inside the helicopter, the only thing we could see was the walls of the whole valley spinning around us. I was sitting on top of the hydraulic system. I was pushed. One of the mechanics started screaming, "We're losing pressure, we're losing pressure." I remember being in the floor there, looking into a Guatemalan soldier that was with us on the plane, and he was doing the sign of the cross, and I thought, like, this is very serious. We're going to crash. At that very moment, my only thought, it was my family, of course, and I was just thinking, I was not sure if my security clearance was signed. I think it was, but I was not sure, and that was my main concern. Am I clear or not to be here? After we reached the ground, there was a big silence. That's the moment when you really get scared, when you see that you've been in a difficult situation, you're back in the ground, and then you start considering what happened. All the community was pretty amazed that we were back. They saw it from the ground, and they thought that we were going to crash against the walls of the valley. They started giving thanks to God that we were safe back and all alive.
And now we are close to Chacamula in San Marcos, and I'm on my way back to Guatemala, but the bus broke.
The next morning, I took the chicken bus back to Guatemala. It was like a 14 hours drive, and it was long, but it was safe.
Aya Schneerson is the head of office for the UN's World Food Program in Eastern Congo, supervising the distribution of 3,000 metric tons, more than 6.6 million pounds of relief food every month. The food distribution here goes as planned. But then Aya learns just last night, this village was raided.
Wengine baraia zikawapata ovyo ovyo na kiana mwaka akakufa hapa kudisi ngambo za hapa. Kisha tukakimbia ovyo ovyo, wengine tukakimbia kule.
Right now in Eastern Congo, there's no law and order, and that creates a lot of panic amongst the whole population. It's harder and harder to watch, seeing misery all the time. Even after 10 years, I care more. I'm not numb at all. And I think that if we all cared a bit, then we could do wonders.